Okay, this is Mr. Schull. This time I'm coming to you live from my office. So, when we did the proofs, I can't help but imagine you'll probably all hated them. Like, why do we do proofs? What's the point? So, today we're going to focus on shortcuts. Now, I call them shortcuts. They're valid ways to prove triangles are congruent, but still, it'll feel more like a shortcut because you don't have to do a full drawn out proof. So the 5 main shortcuts that we're going to focus on are these up here. They're called side, 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 angle, side, and angle, side, well, side, angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle, side, angle, and hypotenuse leg. And we'll get to each of those on their own. But remember, when we're talking about congruent, that's this symbol. That symbol means congruent. So, if 2 triangles are congruent, the definition says that the 6 corresponding parts of each triangle are congruent. However, it's not necessary to compare all 6 parts. Sometimes you only need 3 pairs of congruent parts, and that will guarantee that 2 triangles are congruent. I don't know about you, but I would much rather have to only show 3 congruent parts than all 6. But it can't be just any 3. We're going to talk about some that are not allowed. I will gladly count them wrong if they appear on your paper or on the Google form. But first, let's talk about the ones that are allowed. So the first one we have is SSS, which stands for side, side, side. And I have these marked from earlier when I was playing around. Notice my screen looks a little bit different. So I'm trying something new on this video. I have a new device I'm using to record. Anyways, so when we mark sides congruent, we will use the little tick marks. These marks tell us that sides are congruent. So by the side postulate, if we have 3 sides and each side is congruent to another on the other triangle, then we have enough information to say that these are congruent triangles. All we needed were 3 sides. That's it. And we said, oh, okay, they're congruent. We don't care about the angles. All the sides are the same. That means they have to be congruent. Case closed. On to the next. So now, let's scroll down. Before we get to angles, we have a little bit more that we need to just some terminology to get off our chest. So in a triangle, an angle is said to be included between two sides. A side is included between two angles. For instance, angle A right here is included between AB and CA. So this right here tells us that two sides make an angle. Two sides make an angle. On the flip side of that, AC, segment AC is included between angle A and angle C. So in our geometry terms, we could say one ray makes a side. Okay. So let's look at some examples. They ask us what angle is included between segment AB, so that's this segment right here, and BC. There's BC. So what angle is in between those two sides? Angle B. So that's what we would say right here. Angle B. Okay, then it asks us, hang on, I'm gonna change my highlighter some where y'all can see it. It asks us what side is included between angle B and angle C. So here's angle B right here. We want to go from B to C. So there's angle C. We started at B, angle B, we ended at angle C. What side is that? That's segment BC. Okay. So now they ask us angle C. So angle C is this angle right here. What two sides is it between? So what two sides make that angle? Well, we have AC and we have BC. Those are the two sides that make that angle, AC and BC. Now, it asks us what side is opposite. Opposite here means across from. This is not the only place this will come up. This will come up a lot. Opposite of this angle, opposite of that angle, opposite of this side. It just means across from it. If you draw an arrow across from that piece, what's at the end of your arrow? So we want opposite of angle A. Well, if I draw an arrow out from angle A, what do I run into? What side? BC. What angle is opposite of side AC? So I'm going to start at AC and go across my triangle. What angle do I run into? Angle B. So that's just a little bit of terminology. We got an angle is included between two sides. A side is included between two angles. So now let's move on to our additional postulates that we haven't talked about yet. We have 4 more, but one thing to keep in mind here is that we talked about the marks when you say sides are congruent. If you say angles are congruent, that's what these little curved lines in the corner mean. That means angles are congruent. Actually, let me kind of clarify that some. That's what those marks mean. Angles are congruent. Okay, so next one, SAS. This stands for side angle side. Now, when we do these, they have to be next to each other. You see that angle that's sandwiched in between the sides? That's exactly what has to happen on the other triangle. So we're going to have a pair of sides congruent, the angle in between them congruent, and then another set of sides congruent. See how that angle is sandwiched in between those sides? That's what we want to see. If you have this, then you can say you have congruent triangles. That's side angle side. The next one, we flip it and have angle side angle. Again, we want it to go in exactly that order, and they all have to be touching each other. So we have to have, if I go with this angle on our triangles here, those two are congruent. I'm going to say this side is congruent. I have to have, in order to say angle side angle, I have to have these two angles right here congruent. See how they're touching each other? Stop touching me. Sorry, I can't. in order for them to be congruent. They've got to be all touching to use angle, side, angle. If this occurs, then we have congruent triangles. Okay, next one. Angle, angle, side. What this means is that we're going to have two angles that are congruent to each other. Two pairs of congruent angles. But then a side that they do not have in common, the side that's not between the angles, is congruent. So I have an angle, and the side. Angle, angle, side. Then, if that occurs, we have congruent triangles. Notice this is different than angle, side, angle. Here, the side is in the middle on the angle, side, angle. Angle, angle, side, the side is not in the middle. And then on side, angle, side, the angle is in the middle. So we only have one angle, but it's stuck in the middle. Okay, and the last one, it's unique, it's special. It's called hypotenuse leg. It only works on the right triangle. So I'm going to mark that out here. Only works on a right triangle. It won't work all the time, but if it does, it's only going to be on a right triangle. What it says is if we have the hypotenuse congruent and a leg congruent, then by the hypotenuse leg postulate, we have congruent triangles. Okay, so that was all just a bunch of definitions. Let's actually put those definitions to work now. So they ask us, on each one, can these two triangles be proved congruent? If so, what postulate? What it means by what postulate is which one of our reasons? We've got 5 reasons. If we say yes, they're congruent, which one of our 5 reasons tell us they are? So let's look at number 1. Let's see, what's going on here? We have angle, side, angle. Do I have one that does that? That goes exactly in that order. Angle, side, angle. Yep, right there in the middle. So we say they are congruent by angle, side, angle. That's it. Now the next one. The next one, I see one set of sides. I see two sets of sides. I don't see my third. What's that? Oh, they share a side. Well, duh, it's got to be the same. But wait a minute. Now I have side, side, side. Does that one match? Sure enough. So we are congruent by side, side, side. Okay, on to number 3. If we look at 3, I see a side, okay. I see another side, okay. What is going on right there? These are vertical angles. So they have to be congruent. Uh-oh. What's that mean now? I've got some angles. I've got some angles. And my angle is in the middle. I'm squeezed in the middle. That's what the angle's saying. So this one would be congruent by side, angle, side. Number 4. Let's see. I see a side. I see another side. And I see an angle. Now, is that angle squeezed in between the two sides? No. So, can't use that. I can't say SAS because A is not in between the S's. So the A does not touch both S's. So I can't say SAS. Well, that only leaves me with saying ASS or SSA. Is that one of our reasons? Nope, I don't see any bad word up here on our list. I don't see any bad words up there. I don't see the reverse of the bad word either. So if you find yourself writing a bad word here, I do not want to be cussed out on your assignment. That ain't gonna work either. So these are not congruent. I know you may not want to do your assignment, but you can't cuss me out on it. Sorry. Okay, number 5. I see a side. See 2 sides. This one, the angle is in between the sides. This one, the angle is not. Are they in the same order? They're not in the same order. So therefore, these are not congruent. So on these, order matters. I'll even write it up here. Order matters. Don't just say, oh, but I have 2 sides. One says SAS. That's one. No, they're not in the same order. Order matters. Okay, so let's look at 6. They share a side, so that means that side's automatically congruent. On the bottom triangle, looks like I have SAS, but on the top triangle, are they in the same order? No, they aren't. So again, I'll say it, not in same order. So these are not congruent. And then the last one, last row, number 7. Let's see, I have A. So I got that pair of angles. I got another pair of angles. I've got a third pair of angles. So you're probably going to say, oh, this is AAA. I'm not AAA. I'm not here to pick you up. That doesn't work. So these are not congruent. This is one time where AAA cannot help you. Okay, number 8. Let's see what we have here. They share a side, so that side's automatically going to be congruent. Now, they both have right angles, so I'm going to just mark it as an A for now, because I don't know what's going on here. I see another angle is congruent. So this would be congruent by angle, angle, side. Notice the side's not in between. Yes, it's a right triangle, but we don't know anything about the other legs. We only know something about 2 angles and a side. So this is congruent by angle, angle, side. So there's that one. Now, number 9, it's a right triangle. I see our hypotenuse is congruent. On the right triangle, the other 2 sides are called legs. I see a leg congruent. We've got one that says hypotenuse leg. So this one is congruent by hypotenuse leg. So we saw 3 instances where they weren't, 4 instances where they weren't congruent. And then we came up here and saw all 5 examples of where they could be, or they are congruent. So we've covered all of these up here. And then 4 examples just to show, hey, these aren't congruent. You can't cuss your math teacher. AAA ain't gonna pick you up. And then order matters. So that is our lesson for today. Stay tuned for the guided practice.